Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Heart Breathings. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to my Kanban reset and my Q2 review, as well as my Q3 goals, and I do have that video here for you today, but I did have to come in while I'm editing this video and give you a little bit of an intro to warn you that this video ended up again being super shaky cam. I have a certain holder that I use for my phone, and I thought that I had fixed it and it was going to be more stable. I have video stabilization turned on my phone, and it seemed when I was recording it that it was fine. Now that I'm going back into the actual editor and I'm seeing it on a bigger screen, it's just super shaky. And all I can tell you is that I am so sorry about that. You might have a better experience watching it on a smaller screen if you do want to watch it, or if shaky cam really bothers you, you might want to skip this video entirely. I have already started researching and looking for a gimbal to hold my phone, because I think that what happened is I have the Note 10 Plus and it's just too massive and heavy. So even though I tried some things to stabilize it and it seemed like it was fine, it just wasn't going to stay on the phone holder that I have. So just one of those things that I can't go back and re-record because I can't put the stickies back on the board the way they were. And so we're just going to have to roll with it. So I apologize for the shaky cam and the quality of the video, but hopefully the message makes its way through. So if you're interested in watching this video, maybe watch it on your phone instead of a larger screen this time, and give me just a little bit of leeway on the fact that it's so shaky. I do apologize for that. But here we go. Let's take a look at my Q2 review, resetting my Kanban board, talking about what worked this quarter, what didn't work, and what I plan to get done in Q3. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to Heart Breathings. I'm so excited to share with you my full Q2 review and to share with you how I did in Q2, whether or not I hit my goals, and whether or not I got some writing in. Spoiler alert, I did. I still fell a little bit short. Hopefully you can see that from here. But I think in terms of actually clearing things off my board, this was one of the most successful quarters for me. And there's a few reasons why that I'm going to go over in this video. So today we are going to talk about my Q2 review, what I got done, why I think I was so successful. And then I'm gonna reset this board for Q3 of the year, which is so hard to believe, but it's a fresh start for 2020, which I think we all need right now. So I'm getting ready to gear up for Q3, and I'll be setting that up and sharing with you what my goals are and what I'm gonna continue to do to try to be successful for the rest of the year. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, this is what the board looks like here at the end of Q2. So we'll just briefly go over again what my 3 goals were, because if you're new to my Kanban board and goal setting videos, let me just quickly share with you how this board works. And this is all part of my HB90 method, which is a method of goal setting where you set 3 goals or less each 90 days. And then you take into consideration how much time you have available, what your ideal schedule is, your priorities, and everything else. And you set those 3 goals, and then you break those goals down into projects, and those projects into miniature bite-sized tasks that go on to all of these colorful sticky notes. And then you start the Kanban board. Now, traditionally, I will say this, traditionally a Kanban board goes from left to right. So my version of the Kanban board is not the traditional way. I just prefer going from top to bottom because it feels like a natural progression of finishing the task. Feel free to set it up in the more traditional way if you would like, but this is what kind of works for me, and I keep it going this way. So I'll show you how I do it. This board is separated into 3 goals. So you have, obviously you can tell by color code, goal number 1, goal number 2, and goal number 3. Then it's also segmented into 3 sections from top to bottom. So this top section of the board is my to-do list basically for the entire quarter. Traditionally, I did a little different this past quarter, so I'll explain that in a minute. But I set up everything that I'm going to get accomplished. All of the tasks that I'm going to do go up on that top row, and that's my to-do list, basically. Then the middle section is in process or what I'm currently doing. The way that I use this board is that every Sunday or Monday, I come down to my office and I decide which one of those tasks from the top row I'm going to tackle this week. And then I move all of those tasks for the week down to that middle section. And once that task is finished, it moves to the bottom section, which is the done section. And let me tell you how happy I am to be hitting the end of Q2 with so many sticky notes down here on the bottom. If you've been following me here at Heart Breathings for a while, you know that the first goal for me is always a writing related goal. And for the last several quarters, I've really struggled, really for over a year, to get as much writing done as I have wanted to do. So even though it's still the goal that I fell most short on in terms of getting things done, I am excited to say that I got a lot of writing done this past quarter, and I actually published my first book in over a year and a half, and I am super proud of it. It's my 26th novel, and I actually have a copy of it right here. It's called The Witch's Key, and this was a big part of my motivation for Q2 because I actually wrote this book on the fly, and I read the rough draft as I was writing it live on YouTube. This was a super fun thing. I didn't do this here on this channel, but actually on my Sarra Cannon channel, which is a channel that's more for my fans rather than authors, but I would still love to have you guys over there. I will leave a link to that down below. And it was just something that I thought would be really fun to do during COVID-19, so many people stuck at home, so many people feeling low and just needing something to lift them up, including me. And so I thought, you know what, I'll write an original story and read it live on YouTube every day. So I went live every single day and would write the story in the evenings and then read it in draft form. Then when it was finished, I edited it and I got it published and in paperback. And I actually have, for the first time, I'm going to be signing paperbacks for people and sending them out. So I have like 200, 150 or so paperbacks on their way for me now. So super fun, amazing quarter. And that is part of why I was so successful with this goal, number one. And I'm just really proud of that. You can also see with goals 2 and 3, I got almost everything done. There's just a couple of little sticky notes or tasks that I didn't quite get to this quarter. And I am telling you guys right now, I am super pleased with this because things were super tough with everybody stuck at home, homeschooling my son, and just not being able to go out very much. So let me talk about what I got done, like some of the projects I got done, as well as why I think I was able to be this successful during a difficult time. Okay, so as we revisit my goals, this is my 2020 goals planner, and my goal number 1 was to write, read, publish, and promote my original works in order to build momentum and a sense of community and to grow my social media following too. So instead of setting an income goal for my writing career, I basically set a goal to build momentum and community. So these were the numbers that I was reaching for. So newsletter 13 or so, Facebook group to 3,000, page to 12, 5,200, and 4,000. So here is how it actually worked out. My newsletter, I got to 12,989. So I was 11 shy of my bottom goal. So I put a little minus sign there because I didn't quite hit it, but I feel like it's still really good. I gained a lot of followers. When I started sending out more regular newsletters, I also lost some people. So that's kind of where that worked out. But my Facebook group, I did hit the minimum goal here. I always set a good, better, and kind of wildest dreams goal. And I'm super happy if I even get close to this bottom number. So I got 3,027, which is the bottom number, and I feel good with that. My Facebook page, I was aiming for 12,000 and I got to 11,905. I really didn't work on my Facebook page. I was kind of hoping just by posting some of the basic things that I regularly post that it would just naturally go up, and it didn't. So that's good knowledge to have, is that if I actually want this number to increase, I'm going to have to make an effort to actually work on my page specifically. It's not going to just happen organically. Instagram, however, I made it up to the second goal. So you can see here I put a 1 because I hit the 1 level goal. Here, because I got 5532, I actually hit the second level goal for Instagram. Then for YouTube, I also hit the second level goal. I got to 4,200, 4,221 on YouTube. So overall, I feel like goal number 1 was still a great success because these are the results I wanted to achieve. Even though I didn't quite finish everything, I had a couple projects that were not finished. So one project came completely off the board. I just pulled it off the board, which was a personal read through of my Beautiful Demons series, my Shadow Demon saga, because I knew it wasn't going to happen and I just took it off the board. I also did not finish my launch plans. I wanted to relaunch with new covers my Fair Hope series. So that's this big stack here, is the Fair Hope series did not happen. So that is just getting moved to Q3. I also had wanted to basically write half of the rough draft of Fate Surrender, like re-edit it and do it. And I just didn't quite get to it. So I got some work done on that book, but not as much as I had hoped. Plus, I'm going to be relaunching brand new covers for the first 2 books in that series. So those are kind of the 2 main projects that didn't get finished. And I didn't get as many vlogs up as I hoped. So I actually did get 6 vlogs when I was going back to look. So I got 6 vlogs. I had hoped to get, I think, 10. And so I missed a few vlogs. But even though I didn't finish every single thing on my task list, I still achieved most of what I wanted to achieve. So I feel really good about that. And my income went up as well because I had a new book release. So that was all positive things. And I'm feeling really, really happy about that. One of the best things that you can do for yourself, I feel like, with goal setting is, you have the clear goals, you know exactly what you're reaching for. You know what tasks you're going to do in order to reach those goals. But then also a big part of the puzzle is every single week, every single month, and then at the end of the quarter, really doing a good review on what worked, what didn't work, and not feeling super attached to, like, I'm not going to be super disappointed because I had 2 of these numbers that I didn't hit. I came close, and I also learned something that, you know what, if I'm going to increase my newsletter and my Facebook page past these like 12,000, 13,000 numbers, I'm going to have to work a little harder, or I'm going to have to provide different types of content. That's not anything worth beating myself up over. It doesn't mean I'm a failure in any way. Even if these numbers had fallen way short, it wouldn't make me a failure. It just means I've got to do something different. And that's the power of this program and this type of goal setting. When you know what numbers you're reaching toward or what result you're trying to hit, this can tell you at the end of the quarter, did the actions you took lead you toward those results or not? And if not, why not? And what can you do next quarter to try to raise these numbers? It can also teach you, does it really matter to me if my newsletter's at 13,000? Not really. I am still seeing good results, good engagement, and I'm still living my ideal life without 13,000. So it's like, I know this number isn't as important to me as the YouTube number. So you can learn a lot as you go through these types of things. So I'm going to actually go to this little tab here where I have my quarterly review. The first thing I ask in the quarter review is, what did you accomplish this quarter? Make a list of all projects. So this color here, this purple color, is the things I got done. So I wrote and published The Witch's Key, which is my first book in over a year and a half and was an 80,000 word book. So not only wrote the entire thing and read it live on YouTube, I also got it edited professionally, edited myself through beta readers, published, paperbacks, everything. I also did swag, which was the first time I've ever done that, and made a really good income and had a super lot of fun doing swag. Then I got 4,000 plus YouTubers or YouTube subscribers. I hit over 11,900 likes on Facebook. I got 3,000 plus members in my group. Like I was saying, I got Sir Bean merchandise, which was super, super fun. I'll have to show you guys that. It was in the Witch's Key. There is a cafe that they go to. It's like a cupcake and coffee place, and it's called Sir Bean, and it's a fun part of the story. And so we had a friend that's a graphic designer create a logo for it, and fans were asking for it. So we did t-shirts and mugs and stickers and things like that. And it was a great success and so much fun. Then we did signed paperback sales. I hit over 5,500 subscribers or likes on Instagram, which was great progress. And then I did 6 vlogs and 51 live videos in Q2, which is so crazy and fun. So I'm super, super proud of that. And that's a lot of what I accomplished in goal number 1 in quarter 2. So as you can see, even though I had wanted to also finish a lot of my book, Fate Surrender, and do an entire relaunch of my Fairhope series, it was okay that those things didn't happen. They're important to me. I'm going to continue working on them in Q3, but I still hit most of my goals for the quarter in terms of numbers, the outcome I was looking for, even without doing this. And it also teaches me that I still am overestimating how much I can get done. I think I can get more done because I just want to get more done. So as I planned Q3, I had to try to back up a little bit and say, okay, I can't get quite as much done. I'm still underestimating how much time it's going to take me to finish a book. And so I just will continue to get better and better. And I have some ways that I'm going to do that. So I'll talk about that toward the end of the video. Moving on to goal number 2, it was to continue to create quality, heartfelt content on Heart Breathings in order to grow our community. And I had 3 sort of markers for that: YouTube to 32,000 or more. And then I've hidden the income goals just because I feel like that's super personal and just I don't want anyone comparing themselves or doing anything like that. So income from courses, which was my Publish and Thrive course that I was teaching this last month. And then my income from my Etsy shop where I sell this planner and the quarterly planner. So those were kind of my 3 ways to tell whether or not my heartfelt quality content was really making a difference. I didn't set a goal for newsletter or social media followers, but those also increased just naturally by getting the other work done. With this goal, you can see I got almost everything done that I intended to do. So this was really cool. The only things that didn't get done were a 30K Q&A party, which I had hoped to do, and it just never really worked out. And then a series opt-in created. So what that means is I wanted to create a workbook for a series that I'm doing on how to write a series. And it's my series. And I wanted to finish creating the workbook. I got started on it, but I didn't quite finish it. So that will be coming out in Q3 as well. So let's talk about whether or not I hit these goals. With the YouTube subscribers to 32,000, I did hit it. And I hit it around midnight the day before the new quarter turned over. Now, like I've said before, technically the quarter begins July 1st. However, I'm recording this on June 30th because I like to start my quarter on the Monday of the week the quarter starts. So for me, I've already started Q3, but 32,000, I did hit it just in the nick of time. So yay to the number 1 goal got hit there. With my income from courses and my income from Etsy both, I set a good, better, best goal with all of my goal numbers. So the 2 here means that with my course income and my Etsy income, I hit the 2nd level / better of the good, better, best goals. So that is also another thing I'm really super proud of and excited about. So for goal number 2 with Heart Breathings, here are some of the things I did in Q2. I ran my HB90 course, which was one of my big projects and is every quarter, and I had 108 students. My goal was 75, so that was really great. Then I had 20 plus new videos. And when I did my review, I wasn't sure how many, but it ended up being 22 new videos for Heart Breathing. So when you combine 51 plus 6, that's 57 plus 22. Oh my gosh, you guys, I did a lot of videos in Q2. Then I did then I reached over 1,000 members in my sprinting group. I designed and published my HB90 Q3 planner. I said I got almost 32,000 subs because when I was filling this out, it was the past weekend. So I did actually hit it. I also met and exceeded my income goals. I did a couple of different virtual writing retreats, which was part of my projects for the month. I also got to 5,300 subscribers on Instagram and started doing daily coffee chats. That was just something I kind of started because I thought it was fun. And now I have a lot of people that are following those every day. So if you want to come follow me on Instagram, I do a little walkthrough of my planner each morning and kind of talk about my goals for the day. So if you want to see this whole plan in action, come follow me on Instagram. So I would say really the HB90 course, the focus on the Heart Breathing's Word Sprinting group, which is also linked for you down below, as well as the YouTube videos, 22 YouTube videos. Those were the main focuses for me in Q2 for goal number 2, and I'm super proud that I got that done. I actually originally had planned to do, I think, 25 videos, and then once I saw kind of how the quarter was doing, I brought it down to 22. So I did kind of alter that goal just a little bit. But yeah, I'm really proud of that. So what that tells me is that I did a good job setting number goals that were realistic, and the things that I actually chose to do moved the needle. So one of the main reasons that I love this type of program, and it works so well for me, is that in the past, I was basically just throwing spaghetti at the wall. I would just say, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I wasn't really thinking about what is the result I'm trying to achieve? What am I actually trying to gain from this? And why do I care? Am I going to do some Facebook takeovers and take out these other ads and I'm going to write this new book? Okay, but what am I trying to get out of it? What am I trying to do? Am I trying to increase my followers? Am I trying to make more money? Am I trying to build momentum? And once I started planning in this way and really being deliberate about, okay, this is the outcome I want. Okay, I want to make X amount of dollars in my business for courses and Etsy. And I want to keep increasing my YouTube subscribers because that is where I am making the most impact in the world. So once I settle in on these are the things that are most important to me, and these are the things I'm going to focus on, then it gives me so much clarity about what tasks I choose to do, because the tasks I choose to do to increase my YouTube subscribers might be very, very different than if I was focused on getting more traffic to my blog or increasing my Instagram followers. So once you decide what the results are that you really want to achieve, you can really narrow down which tasks, which projects are going to move me toward that. And it gives you a sense of clarity, because otherwise, when you don't know what you're trying to do, you're kind of potentially trying to do it all. That was what I was doing. I was saying, I don't know, I'm trying to build everything all at once. And so then instead of focusing in on projects that I could complete and that would move me forward towards my goals, instead, I was just saying, well, I'm going to do this over here and this over here and this. And oh my gosh, she's doing this. Let me try this. And it was like I was frenetic all the time. I was super, super busy, but I wasn't super productive. And so once I decided, you know what, I'm driving myself crazy trying to do all these different things and I'm not seeing the results I want. So instead, I'm going to focus in on exactly what it is I'm trying to do. And I'm going to focus there. Now, my newsletter and my Instagram subscribers naturally went up anyway. But if I decided instead of focusing on YouTube, I'm going to really focus on my newsletter this next quarter, I might be able to grow my newsletter exponentially and my YouTube channel would grow organically, but maybe not as much. So it's really about where do you put your focus, because you cannot focus everywhere all at once. And if you're trying to do that, try something different, because you're scattering your energy, you're scattering your focus, and that's usually not the best way to build fast and to build with purpose. So consider a type of planning like this, and I hope this video helps you start to think how you can do that in your own life. Okay, going on to goal number 3. This one is more of a personal goal. So to make significant progress toward my ideal life with a nurture score of 6, 7, or 8 on 90% of my working days by nurturing habits and routines that support my ideal life vision. This one is more difficult to explain exactly, but this is more of a self-care goal. So the types of projects that I was doing for this type of goal were things like my therapy, EMDR therapy. I was also trying to start eating right and losing weight. Was not super successful with that during the pandemic, let's be honest. I also was working on my morning and evening routines in a way that would nurture my spirit and lead me toward my ideal life. I also did some vision boarding and things like this. So these types of goals here were not as business oriented as this, but I find that the more I nurture myself, the more I take care of my mental health, the better and more productive I am in my business as well. So reading books, having different types of morning routines and evening routines, more exercise, eating right, that's the sort of thing I was focusing on there. And the only two things I didn't get done. So I had a 5 and a 10 pound goal, and I lost the 5 pounds. I did not make it to 10. And I did not read the book Atomic Habits. I just didn't quite get to that book this quarter. So I got a good bit done, just not all of it. The way that I measured my nurture score was very simple. I just asked myself at the end of every day, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do I feel I nurtured myself today? And I was taking into account, did I do my morning routine? Did I do my evening routine? Did I eat right? Did I get enough sleep? And that sort of thing. And I actually didn't focus as much on sleep because I do have a 9-month-old baby at home. So she was 6 to 9 months during this last quarter. And I just knew I wasn't going to get a ton of sleep. But did I journal? Did I walk and do a family walk, that sort of thing? And I ended up with a nurture score by the end of an average of 7. So what I did was basically over the course of the quarter, my nurture score, I would just track it daily in a spreadsheet. And I do have some personal notes on that spreadsheet file as well. So I'm not actually going to share that with you, but it's just like an Excel spreadsheet where I have the days of the quarter and then I have a number assigned to the day. And I was tracking it in my planner the same way you can see this energy score. I was tracking a nurture score as well. Oops, turned to a page that didn't have one. So I was tracking a nurture score as well. My average nurture score for the month of April was low. So it was only an average of 5. But by May, I had moved it up to a 6. And by the end of June, it was a 7. So I feel like the routines and the different things that I did made an impact on my mental health. I would like to continue getting better at this in Q3, but my goal is going to shift a little bit. So hopefully that gives you an idea. So I have a writing goal basically to increase my followers and fans on my writing career. Then I have a goal for my heart breathing's career. If you're a writer, you could set one goal for your actual writing and one for your promotion in social media, or you could do it any way you want. I just happen to have like kind of 2 businesses. So I separate them, goal 1 and 2. And then my third goal is usually going to be nowadays a mental health goal of some kind, because I find that that's super important for me and my productivity. So when it comes to goal number 3, what I did was I kept a consistent 13-week morning routine. That is going to be shifting a little bit here in Q3. I also kept a consistent evening routine. So I have marked down here on my review consistent routines. I also lost 5 pounds, which I didn't write on here. And out of 13 weeks, I did 12 therapy sessions. So really proud of that as well, and feeling good about Q2 and everything that I accomplished. And I do want to just take a minute to say that I don't share these things hoping that you're going to compare yourself to me or in any way to say, hey, look at me, I'm amazing. Because if you've been following this for a while, you know that some quarters I struggle more than others. And it's a constant work in progress, and we all are in different seasons of life, and we have different things that we want to focus on accomplishing. I share this as a hope that it's going to be motivational for you to see that if you do put a system in place where you know what you're trying to achieve, you know the numbers you're trying to achieve, and you start really thinking about what can I do to get there? What projects can I do? And then once you decide a project like, oh, I want to do new videos on YouTube, then you can start creating those projects or breaking them down into tasks where you say, okay, I'm going to edit that video. I'm going to set up my camera. I'm going to start my channel. And you start actually moving those things down. It helps you gain so much positive momentum. And I just am hopeful that this will inspire you to go after your own dream life and your own goals, because once you actually start making progress, you're going to see the power of really creating your life to make it what you want it to be. Let's just briefly talk about what I did differently this quarter that really worked out super well for me. So one of the things that I did differently was instead of setting up the entire quarter's worth of tasks like I normally do, I went month by month. So part of the HB90 system is that once you decide what projects you're doing, you give them a deadline or a date. So what I did was anything that was supposed to be done by the end of the first month, by April 30th, went up on the board first. So that doing section at the very top with the to-do list, I only put tasks that were supposed to be done by the end of April. So it didn't feel as overwhelming. And for my mental health during the beginning of this lockdown, as an extrovert needing some mental self-care, I just decided that instead of putting all of my quarter sticky notes up there at once, I was just going to take it 1 month at a time. I had the sticky notes made the same way that I already have my sticky notes made for Q3, but I left them in my planner until some projects were done. And then once that part of the board was cleared, I added more projects. This worked incredibly well for me, and I'm going to do that again in Q3 and see if it continues to work. And if it does, then I'm probably going to add some videos on this to my HB90 course because I think it can be very powerful. The second thing that I did a little bit differently, like I said, was I really, really focused on my routines and my mental health. So having a morning routine that sets me up for the day, where now I've added kind of to my morning routine this HB coffee chat on Instagram where I talk about my goals and my process for the day. These kinds of things get me centered and get me in the mood to work. Whereas before I might just be kind of like hanging out in my PJs all day and then finally being like, oh man, the day got away from me. I haven't done enough. And then the negative thought spirals begin. So having a really supportive morning routine and then a very clear evening routine where I review my day, I read a tarot card, I really get into a space. It's like a spiritual practice in the evenings. And then I set myself up in my planner for the next day. Those types of things and those routines have really helped me. So making sure that I have space in one of my goals, being completely dedicated to self-care and mental health, has been a game changer for me. Another thing that I did that worked super well for me this quarter is I set really realistic goals. So instead of setting yet another income goal for my writing that I felt like I couldn't hit, I set momentum goals with my newsletter. You guys saw all of that stuff. So number goals for my social media. And I didn't set them like, I'm going to gain thousands of followers. I set them nice and low and what felt super achievable. So, for Instagram, I already had maybe like 5,000 or 5,100 subscribers or followers. And all I did was bump it up to, I'm going to gain 100 followers over the course of this quarter. Now I ended up gaining 400, but having that low goal that felt really achievable for me in terms of numbers right now was super helpful, and it was very motivational. So even though I didn't hit all of the numbers, I feel like having achievable goals on that good, better, best spectrum, where good feels really easy and achievable and better feels like a little bit of a stretch, where best feels like I'm probably not going to hit that and I'm okay with it, but it'd be cool if I did. Those types of goal setting just felt really, really good for me right now. And I think it really helped me get more done. The final thing that I realized when I was doing my review that really, really helped me a lot is that I asked for help when I needed it. So I really reached out and leaned on my husband a lot this quarter and said, I need your help with this. Here's what I want to do. And so we had already been doing this, but we just kept going and we made it even bigger of a commitment between the two of us that every day we would sit down and have a family meeting since we're home with both kids and it's all four of us in the house, which we're not always used to because usually Andrew's at school. And we said, okay, just between the two of us as a partner, what do you need from me today? What do I need from you? How can we support each other? And just having that person to lean on was super helpful for me this last quarter as well. Okay, so that is the Q2 Kanban board result and how I did on my goals. So we're going to talk for a minute about my goals for Q3, which are very similar to my goals for Q2. And we are going to reset the board and get everything ready for Q3. Okay, so as you can see, I sat down and made all of my sticky notes, and it's the same sort of thing where I have set deadlines for all of these things. I know when they're happening. Some of them even have the dates on them here, and I'm going to only put the sticky notes that are relevant to the month of July up here. So that won't be the entire quarter, and I will leave anything that I know is not happening in the month of July will stay in this planner. So for example, I know that I'm not going to be doing some of these updates for the books just yet, so that's not going on the board. But all of this stuff for Fate Surrender is going on the board. However, I'm not planning to have it edited and uploaded and published yet, so the publishing of Fate Surrender will stay in the planner, but all of the writing and plotting and stuff like that will go up on the board. So here are my goals for Q3. Very, very similar, if not the same, just the numbers have changed. So to write, read, publish, and promote my original works in order to grow my community and my income. So you can see that's a shift that now I'm going back to actually setting an income goal for my books. So I want to get my YouTube to at least 4,400. And again, that's only 200 from where I am now. So I feel like it's fully achievable, or 46 or 5,000 would be kind of like wildest dreams. I want to get my Facebook group up to 3,200, 3,300, or 3,500. My Instagram, 58, 6,000 or 6,500. And then I want to get that 13,000 on my newsletter. Now you guys saw that I was already at 12,989. So I don't need that many new subscribers. However, I am going to be starting kind of a new campaign, and I anticipate I'm probably going to lose a couple hundred subscribers. So that's why I set this really low again, because I know that even though I'm going to gain people, I'm also going to lose them. My income goals are, you know, I feel like pretty realistic. I'm not going to tell you or show you what they are, but overall, from not having a book release in a year and a half prior to last quarter, my income is way down compared to what it was 2 years ago. So I'm just going to be, over the next couple quarters, as I'm actually publishing books again, sort of inching back up to that ideal income. And so it feels achievable. I've got it up maybe about $1,000 from where it is now, and we'll see how it plays out. Goal number 2 is to continue to create quality, heartfelt content on Heart Breathings in order to grow my community and income. So this is the same goal as last quarter. It's just a little change in the numbers here. So YouTube, I want to get to 35, 36, or 37,000. And then I've got a course income goal and an Etsy income goal. So basically the same goal, it's just different numbers. With goal number 3, this one changed a bit. So to live in the spirit of my ideal life now by raising my daily energy score to 6, 7, or 8 on average through routines and actions that focus on better health and joy. Then I left a little note to myself. I will track this using a daily energy score determined by a scale I will create at the beginning of the quarter. So those are the goals themselves, and the energy score is something similar to the nurture score, but I'm actually going to create a guide for myself. Instead of just saying, on a scale of 1 to 10, how is my energy today? I'm going to actually spend some time, probably in the next 24 hours or so, today or tomorrow, actually going through and saying a 1 means I did this, a 2 means I did this and this, and a 3 means this, etc. And I want to really focus on, you know, I get 1 point for my morning routine, 1 point for my evening routine, you know, another point for journaling, another point for eating right. And I'm going to actually give myself more of a point system for my energy score, so I can share that with you guys in Instagram stories if you're interested in hearing more about that. But yet again, for this upcoming quarter, I have clear goals when it comes to, one is for my writing. I want to continue increasing now not only my YouTube subscribers and newsletter and Facebook group, but I also want to work on increasing my income. So I have chosen projects that I think will get me there, like publishing a new book, continuing to do live videos and that sort of thing. For goal number 2, I'm going to continue creating content. So I'm hoping to get 26 videos up on Heart Breathings. I also want to run my Publish and Thrive course this next quarter. So those are my income goals and my YouTube goals. I also am going to, again, have a new quarterly planner that will come out at the end of the quarter. The quarter Q3 planner and the 2020 goals planner, as well as the undated planner, are all up on Etsy. So I have an income goal for that as well. And then of course, my third goal is that energy score, which is all about my mental health and the routines that are supporting me in being my best self. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all these stickies down. I'm going to save all of the ones of all the tasks that I finished. So at the end of the year, I can actually just celebrate and see all the things that got done. And I'm going to just get rid of the ones that didn't get done, and I'm not going to stress it. I'm just going to move on and focus on the next quarter. And here we go. Let's get set up for Q3. Okay, you guys, here we go. This is it. So my Q3 Kanban board is set, and these are all the things that I hope to accomplish in the month of July mainly, and it's a lot of things. And as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, maybe I have once again overestimated how much I can get done. But what I plan to do is, if these things aren't done by August 1st, I'm not going to stress out or get mad. I'm just not going to move anything else onto the board until these things are done. And when, all of these green sticky notes are finished, I will move on to the next part. And if I don't get everything moved onto the board by the end of September and it doesn't all get done, I'm going to be okay with that. And I feel like this is a good way to support my mental health and to continue to be successful. Here is the stack of all of the Post-it notes, all of the tasks that I completed in Q2. And every single one of these is a choice that I made. Every single Post-it note, every single task represents a moment in time when I walked into this office or got up in the morning or finished, with a really rough night with the baby and said, I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to be the creator of my own life. I'm going to take a step forward to creating the ideal life that I want to see. And I'm going to make my own dreams happen. And each one of these tasks does not have to be a huge thing. It's just a choice. I'm going to do this evening routine. I'm going to sit down and get it done. I'm going to sit down and write those 1,000 words or sit down for those couple of sprints. And this system, this way of doing things is really a way of just saying, I'm going to make the choice to do something that leads me toward my ideal life. And that's so powerful. And I'm just going to continue to make that commitment to myself every day in Q3. I'm going to walk down here, no matter how hard life is, no matter how difficult the world is. I'm going to walk down here, choose something off my board, and I'm going to make a choice to make my own dreams come true, to have an impact in the community, to make a difference, and to live my dream life. And I sincerely hope the same thing for you. Okay, you guys, that's it. Q3 is ready to go. This is it. These are my choices. These are the things I choose to do to move me toward a better life for myself and for my family in Q3. And if you're watching this and you're just not 100% convinced that you deserve your ideal life or that you are capable of your ideal life, I want you to know right now from the bottom of my heart that I believe in you and that I know you are worthy of your dreams. If you have a dream inside of you and you say, this is what I want, then I know that you can make it happen. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You're going to have some obstacles. You're going to have some people that don't believe in you. You're going to have challenges that feel impossible to overcome. But I just encourage you right now to make a choice that you are going to start taking baby steps. Each one of these tasks doesn't It's not a huge thing. It's not like I write a book and become a best-selling author on one Post-it note. Those types of things happen incrementally over years and years of time. And if you start today, just think where you'll be a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. So take a moment to believe in yourself. Hopefully you feel inspired by this. Create your own board. Even if you don't use the full HB90 system, create your own board with a list of tasks of things you really want to get done that you know will move you forward. Okay, I'm going to finally start that notebook with my ideas for my new book. Okay, I'm going to start my YouTube channel, or I'm going to start daydreaming about this life that I really want. Choose yourself. Make your dreams happen. I totally believe in you. Let me know how I can support you. Let me know if you have a Kanban board set up for yourself, and let's own Q3, you guys. Let's make it the best we can make it, and let's have a really great fresh start to the second half of 2020. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you're not subscribed here, I hope that you will subscribe, like this video, hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos come up from me. Come follow me on Instagram for those daily coffee chats and a daily dose of inspiration from me. And I will see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye.